Hello and welcome to the Secretariat. You're watching the Global Capsule. Well, it's been a very eventful week. Mr. Modi's visit to China after 7 long years, his meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin, Chinese Premier Xi Jinping. Of course, we all know how that has grabbed headlines. Sushma, your take?
Well, absolutely. I think the whole world saw that picture of Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, and Narendra Modi together. And I believe it was on the front pages of even American newspapers. So all around the world, this picture has captured headlines. So it could be the photograph of the year. We don't know what's going to happen next. But as you rightly said, it's been a week of fast moving developments. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization has always had these summits, but it's never attracted so much attention. The fact is that after the US president has launched his tariff offensive, all three countries are facing issues now. China also has had to suffer a very heavy tariff. They have, of course, retaliated by saying that, we want to supply rare earth magnets, and then there were negotiations. But there are still talks going on. As far as India is concerned, a 50% tariff has been levied. At the same time, negotiations are still on for a bilateral trade pact. As far as Russia is concerned, there was the famous summit in Alaska, and Putin is being pressured to enter into some kind of peace agreement. So, but I think all three countries are feeling the heat of the kind of policies that Trump has unleashed on them.
And the uncertainty.
And the uncertainties, the tremendous uncertainties of economic upheaval in the entire world. So here you have Xi Jinping being the host and obviously trying to show that I can create a multipolar world. Here is the Russian president. Here is the Indian prime minister. These are the most important people in the world right now. And they're all standing together and they're smiling. And the fact is that not just India, it's not that India has gone there with a kind of a begging bowl. It's facing the heat definitely from the US. China has gone the extra mile in the SCO statement. There was a condemnation of the Pahalgam terrorist attack. And as you will recall, this did not take place at the foreign ministers meeting, which preceded the summit meeting. So obviously, China has now finally agreed that yes, we will condemn the attack. Of course, there was a parallel condemnation of the attack in Pakistan, in Balochistan, but it is extremely significant. So I think the whole world is looking as to and it also shows that India is not going to back down from its relationship from Russia, which is one of the things that Trump has been trying to force
And also it shows how India will be guided by its own interests. Yes. I mean, it has always had a kind of an ally in the US, but it is not also going to go with a begging bowl to the US, whether it is for the bilateral trade agreement or for other kind of things. I mean, when things are not going right, it is not going to really go to the US or so it's a message that a kind of a message even to the Trump administration that India's foreign affairs will be guided by its own strategic autonomy and its own interest.
Yes. I think, Maua, you've used the correct term. Strategic autonomy is what we're looking at now. This is the term that's being used. And I think if you if you read all the analysis and the comments by intellectuals in the West, whether it is, in the United States or whether it is Europe, everybody has recognized the fact that Donald Trump has virtually demolished 30 years of diplomacy that has created this Indo-US relationship, a strategic partnership whereby we are partners in the Quad with Australia and Japan and the US. And there's been a lot of defense purchases by India, cultural exchanges, all that has been demolished. And of course, all these commentators are saying things which we all know, Maua, that we have greater complementarity with the United States. than we have either with Russia or
And
China.
actually, Trump has also come under major criticism from his own cohort, own people at home,
Yes.
that this is something which shouldn't have been done, and it's pushing India more towards China. And
Exactly.
it's a complete destruction of a relationship, like you said, built over so many years.
In fact, that picture, people are saying, well, this picture has been created by Trump. Because you push Modi in this direction. And as you rightly said, I mean, even his own Republican strategists are saying the same thing, except, of course, those who are very close to him, like Peter Navarro, who is still firing salvos against India. So I think the Shanghai Cooperation SCO meeting is very significant. But at the same time, we must recognize certain things. I think these analysts do have a point. We do have a greater complementarity with the United States. The fact is, and this is what so many people are saying, at least the US is not demanding any share of Indian land like China has. So we do have that, the strains and the stresses of the border relationship, of the border frictions, and the fact that China has not resolved this issue. China wants to continue deepening the engagement, whether it's on a political and or cultural level or economic level, but they don't really want to come to any final solution on the border issue. And that is the elusive factor. And that is where the differences have come out, even in the joint statement, where India has said that for us, the border issue, resolution of the border issue is a prerequisite for deepening engagement, whereas China has said that we should go ahead with a deepening ties and not worry too much about the border issue. So that there's a great difference in perspective.
Of course, both Modi and Xi Jinping both said that, the dragon and elephant, they're not really rivals, but partners. But yes, but at the same time, Sushma, you mentioned Quad. The interesting thing is Modi visited Japan just before his visit to China to attend the SCO summit. Now, in this SCO brouhaha, the entire thing, the Japan episode has been almost buried or has gotten forgotten. But how do you see the Japan visit just ahead of the SCO summit, Modi's visit to Japan?
Mahua, you're very right. People seem to have forgotten that. That was a very, very significant visit. If you see the outcomes, Japan has offered to invest as much as $68 billion in India. And they have also, there's a whole spate of agreements.
And Japan is also a member of the Quad group.
Exactly. Japan is a member of the Quad. And with Japan, India, Australia, and the US have launched 2 years ago the semiconductor initiative, which we are deeply involved. And if you see the agreements that have been finalized on this visit of Prime Minister Modi's visit, a lot of it is in the area of semiconductors, it's in the area of rare earths, it's in the area of high technology. So there's a lot of technological cooperation. And we have to remember that Japan is still the third largest economy in the world. We're nearly there. It's kind of 50. We are on par kind of with Japan. So it's a very, very large and very important economy. But it is an ally of the United States. And we come back to that comment about strategic autonomy. So India is showing, well, we will conduct our foreign affairs, as you said,
driven by our own national
interest. It is in our national interest to ally with Japan. And after that, he goes to Tianjin and he, has this very warm relationship, but making it very clear that for us, the border issue remains paramount. Now, we are not going to go back. I think one thing that needs to be remembered when we talk about all the hype about the SCO summit, India is not going to walk into this relationship with its eyes closed. India has its eyes open. We're looking at the fact that there are still problems on the border issue. We cannot wish them aside. At the same time, we are going ahead with a deepening economic engagement, which is what we need. We need the hour, which is the need of the hour. So I think it's an eyes wide open kind of policy. And Japan, as I said, and as you pointed out, people seem to have forgotten it, but it's a very critical element of our foreign
And a
policy.
very important message probably sent to the world and to the SCO members that, India's national interests will be guided, purely by its own
requirements.
Now, interestingly, Sushma, after the entire SCO craze and the brouhaha, reportage and all that, we see Putin, Xi and
Kim Jong-il.
Absolutely. How do you see that happening? And then, of course, the military parade that happened in Beijing.
Well, there are 2-3 things. First of all, that was another fabulous photograph, I must say. Those 3 leaders walking. And apparently they were caught. There was a hot mic which caught some of the conversation between Putin and Xi. And they were talking about technological advancements in organ transplants and things like that. And they said that, apparently now humans will be able to live to the age of 150. So this is something that they were discussing as they were doing that walk, very impressive walk, which is caught on camera. So first of all, of course, it was a show of solidarity. North Korea, China and Russia. Very significantly, India was not there. Pakistan was there. So I think the US needs to really reevaluate its relationship with Pakistan. The other thing that was very interesting was the fact that Kim Jong-un brought his daughter for these meetings. And there is a feeling that she could be the next leader of North Korea. So everybody is keeping a very keen eye on that. And then, of course, lastly was the message sent by the US President Donald Trump on this occasion, which was unfortunately, as Donald Trump is, not neither very mature or statesmanlike,
Absolutely.
where he talks about the fact that Americans have contributed to China's victory in World War II, and also saying that you 3 of you are conspiring against me. To which, by the way, there's already been a response, both from the Russian government as well as from China, I think, saying that we had no intention of conspiring against anyone. So this was, I think it sparked a million memes that that's a particular picture.
So it's been an interesting week for sure. We'll have to wait and watch how things pan out. Thank you for watching and see you next week.